No, this is 11 minutes. I guarantee we can get the 2 hours of this video. Cause look at the time. Yeah, boy.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Heavenly Citizens Club. My name is Taylor, and today I actually have my husband with me,
Oh yeah.
Aspen, who
For the sake of YouTube, people watching on YouTube, this video is titled "Godly Dating and Marriage: Green Flags." I spin and Taylor. This is probably Taylor. We can see.
is going to chat with me to
Right. This
you
is
about
Taylor.
marriage and the things that we encountered when we were dating, and
Two
then
A.
also just leading into marriage. We're giving our own personal experiences, but we hope this episode blesses
All
you,
right.
and
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon.
Heavenly Citizens Club.
So I'm really excited about this episode because I'm here with my husband, Aspen. All right. So, what were some of the most important things that you found while we were dating, and how that essentially transpired into dating to marriage?
Yeah, what was really important to me was how intentional you were with your faith, your belief in Christ as well. And it was a thing where one of our first official dates, you kind of let out, the boundaries of, hey, this is what I believe, this is what I'm looking for. So I felt like just you being intentional about what you expected from me and anybody you were dating, like that meant a lot because it showed me that your heart was in the right place and you knew what you wanted to, and that was the same thing I wanted. So that's that like-mindedness that I really like.
So, to give y'all the tea, so essentially, the first conversation that we had, like, th- one thing about me is that I wasn't about to waste any time because I just was in a place where I just didn't want to waste any more time. And some of the things that we talked about on our first date was, and I don't think it's ever too early to talk about these things, especially if you're taking someone seriously. But we're not having sex before marriage. Um, Things that I expected boundary wise, and even trying to honor the whole, I guess, not having premarital sex, but the boundaries that had to go in place in order to keep that covenant.
Yeah, and it was like accountability that was
Yeah,
important too. And I was like, okay, like this is being on the same page with the same things is easier to stay on the same
Right.
page,
I don't know
exactly.
if one
So
of
that was really important too.
realize, right? And this is just a random thing that I started notice. Not saying that I was the best follower of Christ, but and I know he like either. I don't know either then like it's just a video I randomly come across it there and I save it on my watch later. Anytime I save it on my watch later, usually it's for me to watch later, the or I just want to watch it and react to it on stream. So we got a lot of videos we can react to on stream, truthfully. But one thing I want to say, I don't know if people realize this, bro, but when you're on your walk, like, right, or you run, you journey in a general sense. Look at his skin, it glowing, it glowing. No, not saying I ain't think because I just hot in here sweating. Everybody's sweating, but like it's a vibe and a personality, and it could just be the editing of this video too. Whoever edit and color grade the video, it could be that too. But it's a vibe you just give off. Like, I never hope that when people see me, they'll feel that vibe too. But it's not about me. It's not about me. But it's definitely a vibe that must give off. And I just watching a video. I don't like I said, I don't know these personally. I don't know these in real life. I just see this video and I tell myself I want to watch it on stream. Or just watch it in general because I thought it was cool. But it's a vibe these two giving off right now. I ain't like none oh this boy like this body, man. So I told him for me, looking at them, it's getting happy vibes. Like that's what I would like to I would like to achieve one day. Like, people could look at me and say, yo, you make me feel happy. Oh my no.
So I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're
But
good.
it's just a conversation.
Yeah, it's just a conversation. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about was, how have there been like qualities that you saw when dating, either I guess when you've seen when we were dating, and how that essentially amplified in a marriage, or qualities that were amplified in dating and how they didn't amplify in marriage?
Setting the foundation in a dating stage. Like I feel like when I was first going to our church now, Worship of Wonders, it was a thing where I was going for a minute and then I was like, man, this is a really good place. And I told you about it and you were very open to say, hey, I would love to come. and it didn't feel awkward. It wasn't forced. It was a place that we both went to. And it's just like you experienced what I was graced to experience, and then us experiencing that together and going and joining like a year later and been there for a couple
Yeah, I
years
want
now.
to
It's
do
just
this
like,
one day, man.
that was the invisible foundation of God. We want to keep you in.
Just me. I'm away that nobody else can really know about. Well, if we're doing this, maybe we'll know, but I don't know if I'll share who my wife is. Well, girlfriend, kind of skipped the wife, but I don't know if I'll just share that information just like, hey, there's my new girl. She's on the stream. Make a couple channels. Nah. When it got to wife stage, then for sure. But if in the future, man, I bring them on stream and they're just chilling in bar, I got cheering them. I should cheer. And put on say me, either say to me, I was gonna make the camera a little bigger first. I put on either say to me, and we just reacting and stuff on stream. Are you that's to this? They got another one with a tea sipping segment on cut. I think that's where I see this from. I was watching one of them videos. Uh, cut man. It was some jiggly. It was some like spawn, not a branch, a channel. Like, hold on. Let me gather my thoughts. Gather my thoughts. It was either Cut or Jubilee, right? Cut or Jubilee got another channel that then branch off and made more content into. And I can't remember exactly what name, but I was watching it. I was so where these two people was just answering questions, sipping tea, and then after that video was done, this one was recommended next, and I think that's when I said it. I just remember, yeah. But like I said, if I had to just, who knows when, get a girlfriend in the future while I doing this here, or before the 90 days, which I don't, I don't really sure because I don't be looking. I think that I might. I don't know, right? I don't know, because then that would be them choice too. If they want to do that, they could do that. If not, then not. Just shot him. But I think it would be so cool to react like to the people that got married partners and stuff like that. One of be saying I'm watching these kinds of videos talking about the gospel, hearing other people talk about it and their experiences, always feel the good church together. Like that sounds so cool. That sounds so cool to be honest. One day though. One day. Not today though. But one day. It could be today. Who knows? Grab my phone. Gotta check these messages. If I got any. I don't got I can stop talking. Stop that, right? Let's see. Let me see. Mama say. Why I just got a recommendation to I Love Levi shirt? Never in my life I said I love Levi. Levi cool to look at. Like the stuff he's do cool, but Levi himself couldn't be that nigga friend, man. Could not do that nigga friend. Hey, let's watch the content play back a little bit. Oh, where, where, where's my mouse? So,
This, just experiencing that together and going and joining like a year later and been there for a couple years now. It's just like, that was the invisible foundation of God. We want to keep you in this, So like, we brought your sister to the church one time for prayer night, and I just feel like those small moments that seemed insignificant in that moment were really important. Of God, we want to keep you in this, even in the very beginning stage, leading to our marriage too. So, yeah, that was definitely important to me for us to be able to do that together. So,
Yeah, I also think too that some of these I guess instances a lot of people don't do when they're dating, and I feel like that is a detriment to marriage. Of course, like the Lord loves marriage. He's the one that created it, but I feel like those qualities going into marriage, if you kind of don't see them or establish them, it can be very difficult. There's especially when you bring someone to church when you're dating, like that's a telltale all.
Yeah, observation is wealth, like I tell people, because you can learn so much just by looking at things, just by having discernment to be able to say, all right, let me see if this person is nervous because when
Sorry, just a little silly trap. But this camera off. I don't know what to be setting the camera not off for one of, but for me it is shut a off. So I just see now it look blurry. So I just tap it just to make sure that it's still on or that it ain't dirty. Because the screen on the actual camera itself is turned on. But when it's out on the stream, it still be on. But I just be making sure. But just a quick thing. If one ever on TikTok, bro, I want to see a creator named Malik Travell or yeah, Malik Travell. Not a good content creator. He does. I can't really say he's breakdown stuff, but he does more explain stuff in a harsh, like I don't know how to describe the type of content is, but because in a way it could be used as motivation, it could be used as awakening, like click back to what you really supposed to be doing, what's your real purpose and stuff like that. But if you ever on TikTok, just type in Malik Travell or Travell. I don't know. I never hear you pronounce your name, so I don't know how to say it. But how I reading it is how I think it would be said. But that's a good mindset. A man with a good mindset. A man with a good mindset. I never really looking with these things. Like when I watch a video and they don't say nothing, I really like a video. Not saying that the other videos I react to I didn't like, but I gotta react to it, you know? So I just reacting. But this one, it's not you got me locked in. Like I truly listening to everything they say. I truly
it comes to dating, if you're intentional about it, you really don't.
and one thing that I don't want to say also. What he said about the whole what he said about the whole bringing your date or crush, girlfriend, whatever, to church, or even if them do go to church with you at the same church, I mean, that you meet them at that church, right? And people start realizing, oh, want to sing them together, want to talking more than usual. If supposedly a lot of young people in church, for example, and seeing like, oh, two of these people going to the same places, you know, people put two and two together around the tree. Things like that would be obvious to people that are watching, I guess, or from people that aren't outside, I should say. People put two and two together. And when that happened, ain't that his name bad, but some people, I will assume or hope to believe, will wish good for you and wish success in your relationship. Other people, no, this ain't putting none kid or no blame to nobody, because I guarantee someone is gonna say, he talking about me. If he was the type of person I'm describing, then duh, nigga, I talking about you. But I'm not talking about you specifically. I just describing a type of person that could be in this scenario. Then got the people that can be like, oh, I don't want she did this in the past, and it's like, bruh, you so unhappy with your life that you trying to ruin another person's life. Like, get a life, gang. Get a life, gang. That's kind of crazy. I don't want to ever see nobody doing that. Nobody that I personally know doing that. I don't want myself to ever be catch doing that. Nothing. Not saying to do it like I don't want to be caught doing it, but I don't want to catch myself in the moment like, yo, I hating on a nigga that probably don't care. A nigga that living his life. Well, instead of me focusing on money, I focusing on somebody else's life. That's kind of crazy. So stuff like that is thinkable. Stuff like that is thinkable, really and truly. Just try to be aware of everything you're doing. Sorry, hold on. I'm just looking at something. I'm just looking at something. Hold on. We will get back to reactions right now. Just hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm playing FBA right now. Well, not playing FBA, but just thinking, what? Wrong. But I was gonna react to this one or showing it was looking at on stream. But I look kind of low. Let me send this to myself. Where I forget. Let's take him. All right, after this video, I can show them what I'm looking at, or what I was looking at. After this video.
Don't want, I'm not gonna say you really don't, but you should always look for somebody who is open to letting you know, hey, this is what I believe about God. This is how I feel. This is what He's done in my life. Because if you're shy about that, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like that's weird in a way if you don't talk about who God is to you. You know, you don't have to be
True.
super overly religious, but it's a thing where it's just like you should never be ashamed to say, hey, like, this is what I believe. This is
Oh,
who He
yeah.
is to me. Because if you
Full
understand Him
screen.
as a father, it's just like, why would you not? You introduce your spouse or your family or somebody you want to date. So it's just like, hey, this is who He has been in my life. So I feel like that's really important too.
It's like you introducing God as like your parent, and of course they should definitely be thinking the same thing, but it's kind of like you introducing someone to like an in-law.
Yeah, like the Bible says, you will know them by their fruits. So it's just like you can tell what somebody believes in and what they spend the most time around when you meet somebody. You know, just
What he just said is exactly what I was trying to say. And I'm glad he said anyway. He said, because, oh, holy moly, that helped me a lot. What he said, right? When you're around somebody long enough, you just get a sense of them. All right, let me just play back and let he say. And let he say.
yeah, like the Bible says, you will know them by their fruits. So it's just like you can tell what somebody believes in and what they spend the most time around when you meet somebody.
Exactly. You will know them by the fruit. So basically, when you're around silly, you just walk up to a tree. You will know as a mango tree because you saw mangoes in it. You will also know it's a mango tree, possibly because it's mango season. So you gotta pay attention to the types of things the person is do, what them is be around, what times them is do certain things at. Not saying like going out or partying all the time, but like what's a good example? All right, I can't think of a good example right now, but hopefully when I understand what he said and what I was trying to explain earlier too. But I let Hoya explain it. I let Hoya explain this.
You know, just to use an example that's just popping up in my head now, like if you meet somebody with a
Oh,
group of
great.
friends and it's like, hey, this is my other friends, like, yeah, like you know, we hang out, we you're just like, oh, you know, they probably turn up all the time, you know, versus just like you meet somebody, you can tell how they treat their family, their friends, how they're intentional with the things in their life, and it's just like, okay, I can tell that, you know, you have a strong foundation of who you are and who God is to you because these are the things that you value. So I feel like that's really important
Right.
too.
That's good. Okay, so one other thing too, there's like this whole situation where, like, young people aren't getting married, or even when we were engaged, a lot of people gave us unsolicited advice. Could you give advice to someone like that? Because so for to give you all the backstory, so when we were
Yeah.
engaged, a lot of people would be giving us advice that kind of didn't really match our personalities. For example, it's gonna be really difficult, it's gonna be really hard, but you're gonna work things out, da, 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 da. Or what other stuff were they saying?
It was a lot of that, like you said, but I feel like even in the moments of, again, going back to the importance of having that foundation of the Lord, I don't know everything, but I know if truly, genuinely, like he said, he searches the heart. If you know my heart, then you will lead me. So like, even if I didn't know everything or we didn't know everything, we knew that, okay, that sounds like it's coming from a good place, but that's not the case for us, you know, because it's a thing where that didn't line up with anything the word said, you know.
Another time I'll say, I just thinking. I like I said, I know I ain't be saying too much as I reacting to it because I really want to hear what they have to say. Like I just be interested in well, like I said, I don't want to chat for other people's lives, right? But because they have so graciously recorded this video. I, as the viewer, will graciously appreciate the content. And another thing is give you a little insights on like when you do find the one or like the person that God give you in life. One, first of all, right, that's what I was gonna talk about. First of all, they say that it is just no. You just no. Why did the video just play out? Hold on.
He is to me because if you understand him as a father, it's just like
All right. I think that was where it was. If not, I'll just skip it by far. But the fact that you just know when God's sending you the person is a feeling that I don't want to say I felt because at any day clearly none of them in the class ain't cut out for the mission. But or maybe I didn't cut out for the mission. Who knows? But he's is the people say that is a. I just want to know what the feeling is, right? And people describing it saying it's just a feeling you can know when it happens. It's like, bro, how will I know when it happened if it never happened? I don't know what to feel. I don't know what to feel. So how would I know this is it? Like I might get a feeling like, for instance, I might get butterflies. That's it. Is that the feel? No. Because then they would have just said it is feel like butterflies. Clearly that ain't it. So if you can just know clearly it gotta be something like that it just go off in your head, go off in your heart, somewhere, even if it just shivers running your body. It can't be shivers either, because they would have just said it's feel like shivers. But nobody never give a clear description on how it's feel. Just say, oh, you can know, but when it happen. I guess so, bro. I guess I can just know when it happened. On my camera just stick. I'm not sure it's showing it, bro. I just see my camera stick IRL, bro. Alright, stream slow. Well, let me excuse me. I just double checking. Alright, good. It's still up. Alright. The fact that you can just know is made me wonder what exactly is the feeling that you can feel. And I think everybody's probably wondered that at some point. What's the feeling you can feel when I don't know, bro. When it happen, oh, I want to know. Maybe I can come out one day and just sit straight. When you feel it, you gonna know. It's like I don't know. So it's like one day, man, we can see.
say, hey, like this is what I believe. This is who he is to me because if
Okay,
you understand him as a father, it's just like, oh yeah, you can observation is
wait, do
wealth,
that,
like
bro.
I tell people, because you can learn so much just by looking at things, just by having discernment to be able to say, all right, let me see if this person is nervous because when it
I think
comes
that,
to dating, if you're intentional about it, you really don't want, I'm not gonna say you really don't, but
yeah, I think we got to fart a little bit.
if you're shy about that, it's just like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like that's, you don't have to be super overly religious. But this is who he is to me because you introduce your spouse or your family.
God as like your parent and your parent, like you.
Really want to date, so it's just like, hey, this is, why would you
all right,
not
let me
be
just watch
drawn
from
to?
here.
You introduce your spouse or your family with somebody you want to date, so it's just like, hey, this is who he has been in my life. So, I feel like this is really important too.
It's like you introducing God as like your parent, and of course they should definitely be thinking the same thing, but it's kind of like you introducing someone to like an in-law.
Yeah, like the Bible says, you will know them by their fruits. So it's just like you can tell what somebody believes in and what they spend the most time around when you meet somebody. You know, just to use an example that's just popping up in my head now. Like if you meet somebody with a group of friends and it's like, hey, this is my other friend. It's like, yeah, like we hang out. He's just like, oh, they probably turn up all the time. Versus just like you meet somebody, you can tell how they treat their family, their
My camera
friends, how
battery
they're
halfway
intentional
there.
with the things in their life, and it's just like, okay, I can tell that you have a strong foundation of who
Yeah,
you
other
are and who
battery
God
still
is to you
charging.
because these are the things that you value. So I feel like that's really important to me.
That's good. Okay, so one other thing too, there's like this whole situation where like young people aren't getting married, or even when we were engaged, a lot of people gave us unsolicited advice. Could you give advice to someone like that? Because so for to give you all the backstory, so when we were
Yeah.
engaged, a lot of people would be giving us advice that kind of didn't really match our personalities. For example, it's gonna be really difficult, it's gonna be really hard, but you're gonna work things out, da, 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 da. Or what other stuff were they saying?
It was a lot of that, like you said, but I feel like even in the moments of, again, going back to the importance of having that foundation of Lord, I don't know everything, but I know if truly, genuinely, like he said, he searches the heart. If you know my heart, then you will lead me. So like even if I didn't know everything or we didn't know everything, we knew that, okay,
Another
that's
thing, let's say, I'm sorry for pausing so much. I just, like I said, just thinking, right? Another thing, let's say, though, even how them speaking, or how he in particular speaking, and how he, even right now, I trying to say what I want to say, but it ain't cannot. But how he using the words, how he's saying it, the vibe he's saying it with, is confidence at any day thing. And I'm saying that I ain't got confidence. I got confidence in myself. But at the same time, I don't think I would do public speaking. But is this considered public speaking? You get what I mean? Like, ain't in front nobody, but in front somebody is in front of somebody, but ain't in front of a lot of people. Like, like, when I look straight, I can't see nobody. When I look so, no one. But I know that right here, there's somebody behind the screen watching it. But is that considered public speaking in this new day and age where where the what? Oh, where the camera is, like I said, buddy, bruh. When I don't know what I be thinking about something is, but like stuff is just clicking my brain. Remember we react to the TikTok with the guy talking about how the camera is Babylon, or Babylon is the camera, I think. And he was basically explaining how in a day and age like today, Babylon, forgive me if I say any points wrong, but I just try to remember off the top of my head. He was basically saying Babylon gave birth to a camera. And we live in a day and age where everybody needs to show what they're doing on a camera. Whereas when like, ah, basically he was saying animals, when they see the reaction in a mirror, the camera, hold on, the camera died, bro. But I can still talk. But he basically said, in a day and age where the camera is everything for most people, everybody like to show off in the lives, everybody like to post videos, record, and I fit in that description too. Don't get me wrong, I fit in the description. I said better than nobody, ain't so. But in a day and age where everybody want to do it, it is take away a sense of, what do you call it? There's another word I want to use, but it can't. But it's take away a sense of privacy, a sense of realism. And he used an example like in the world. Wait, let me switch camera. Let me switch camera. Hold on. 'Cause I really want to explain it, or try my best to explain it, so that I can at least be like, okay, I know I watched the video and I learned something from it. I understand some points he made from it and stuff like that. So let me switch the battery and put a sub on the chart. Yeah. I'm not sure that's good. Is it good? Yeah. Right. Put out on the church. Right. So basically, he was saying that in a day and age where everybody like to post stuff and show them personal life and stuff like that, there, we live in a right. We live in a society where realism not real in a sense. Like being real is not real because you're doing everything for the camera. So are you being who you truly are? Are you being real in a sense? And then the example, like I was saying, that he gave is when he said, if you show a wild animal a mirror, the wild animal is have an unhealthy reaction because it never see it before, it never see a reflection, nothing like that. So he was basically trying to say with that example, we just pay too much about how we look. And in a way, it's true. It's true. Everybody's pay attention or got like a level of a consciousness to like how do I look today? I look presentable, I look musty, I look ugly, I look good, whatever. I think I look good. But anyways, so then he was saying animals have unnatural reactions from the mirror. But we get so accustomed to looking in the mirror 24/7 that the camera becomes normal. But also the camera is a new day and age weapon that we somehow that some people know how to use. This is what I'm saying. This is what he said in the video. Parts of what I said, yes, is what he said. But parts of what I say is my own understanding. So don't take this and say, "Oh, if just he said this." No, this is my understanding. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But he was saying, well, I can't say he was saying. What I understand, what he was trying to explain to me is that if the camera is a new day and age weapon formed by given birth from our boy Babylon, they got good ways to use it. One, what I'm doing here, spreading the gospel, teaching people how to have a godly dating life and a godly marriage, and explaining and giving examples on their personal marriage and how them started dating, etc. Versus if you don't know nothing about your religion and what's the word and well yeah, just your religion, your culture, whatever, and you just jump right into it. You don't research, you don't take no precautions, like she said, to stop certain things from happening, stuff like that. If you don't do none of that, it's like, what's the point? You're just doing it just to say, hey, I'm doing this, look at me doing this. And then at the end of the day, as I said, the camera could be used for good or the camera could be used for bad. Hopefully in the future, well, not hopefully in the future, even right now, God is good. God willing, I could see myself doing it, right? I could really see myself doing it, doing stuff like what I'm doing right now, explaining, well, not exactly what I'm doing because I'm married, but I could see myself doing stuff like this in the future, explaining how we get to this point, if it had any hardships, how we get past the hardships. Because nowadays people is telling us, "Oh, look, any minor inconvenience, I depend on this relationship." When in reality, when in reality, well, it depends on what it is. Is of course you got some strict borderlands. I'm saying don't have a like a don't have like a bar. Not don't have a bar that nobody should cross. And I talking about that extremely high bar. Like I didn't realize it was St. all this time. That's like an extremely high bar. Assuming that's a high bar, that look crazy. But anyways, have a standard that not supposed to disrespect you. Nobody not supposed to be calling you your name, nothing like that. Have respect for yourself, have self respect, and some level of standards. But at the same time, I thought I just see saying crawling on the middays. But at the same, I thought I said centipede. But at the same time, have an understanding that people mess up. Really true. People's mess up. I was gonna give an example of saying they mess up with, not saying never mess up, but like I don't think in my personal opinion that I mess up in anything I do in the past. Did I? Nah. Me personally, I don't think so. Somebody else might. I don't know. They never tell me, so I don't know. Really and true. That's the thing too. You gotta learn and understand that you gotta tell people straight. You're wrong. Just say something. Say you're wrong. Could be a yes person, but you gotta say you're wrong. Especially if it's something directed towards you. You don't gotta sit there and take it. Not saying that you should do anything, but don't be, don't live in a situation where you know you could just. But then at the same time, don't just jump shit without doing nothing, speaking about it, and then either let them know what you're about to do, you're about to do. And I think that's all it needs to be, bro. If people talk, that's all that need to happen, bro. People need to talk more. That's why I feel like in school, some of these subjects, bro, like, yes, you learn them, you remember them. Sometimes I just randomly um use the knowledge I get in school. But sometimes, bro, I wish they would teach more stuff. And I wish religious education, like literal Christianity, in my personal opinion, because you know people like to be on the internet. In my personal opinion, I feel Christianity should be pushed from nursery. Well, yeah, nursery, because I literally got nursery videos that children can watch about God and Jesus and stuff like that anybody, stories anybody, right? I understand the although they watch the story, they will understand what it was really trying to say, what it take away from the video, right? So that's what I mean. But I think that all them things should be taught as like a now have to be taught a compulsory subject. I think it means compulsory, like whole math, English, and PE. PE? Yeah, PE, math, English, PE. I feel like skipping, I forget one of but math and English for sure, you have to do that. I feel that's how it should be religious. I really and truly, everybody would be religious. I don't think there would be any problems I couldn't aware. I think, yes, you got some arguments here and there, because at the end of the day, these people, everybody at different level of understandings, everybody got different levels of doing things and how to get places, how to get different stages in life. But at the end of the day, it's live, bro. I think that's what it should be. So instead of when you get to this level, you could start choose subject, even in college. I think up until college, then if through primary school, I mean through nursery, primary school, secondary school, and you still take some, man. I don't think it's a religious thing for me. And you still gonna do it one thing, that's on you. You in the stage where you're in college, you old enough to make your own decision, that's on you. But for the people that tell us, hey, although this was a subject I had to do all through life, I understand that you're trying to better me. You're trying to better me for real. That's all we're trying to do. So we're just trying to better you so that you could live eternity. W access, yeah, W access. Literally, finish your reaction. We have to the reaction. Look, for the sake of the reaction, I can say minimum of 5 sentences for every pause. For the sake of reaction. Let me go.
Sounds like it's coming from a good place, but that's not the case for us. Because it's a thing where that didn't line up with anything the word said. God says, "Hey, I bless you. I'm with you. I'm always with you." Versus, "Oh yeah, it's just you can't allow people to project things that don't belong to you." So it's just like that exterior and interior armor of this is what God says marriage is. That my heart's desire lines up to desire that. So it's just like that's what I'm going to experience. So it's just having confidence of knowing that when God is on your side and He's the foundation, then that's what you should expect. You should expect good fruit. You shouldn't expect worry, doubt, fear. Yes, there may be challenges, but knowing that He's your foundation, you won't just stray away. So yeah, you can't just listen to everybody.
Yeah, I think it's
Exactly what he just said is half of what I was explaining also. You can't just up and leave a situation. And I'm talking about just dating. I'm talking about any thing you might be going through. Like you can't just up and leave a situation until you say, look, I over this, right? I over this. I, you can't just up and leave it until you say, look, I ain't good at this here. I don't really feel like doing this. I just complain. I just leave. Remember that at the end of the day, like he said, God is your rock, God is your foundation, and you will succeed. That's literally fast. That's it's crazy. Like it's some. I don't want to talk about nobody else like furniture, but we know it's some people in the world that is going to tear this idea down. Really and truly, the whole idea is for us to succeed. So the fact you trying to tear down idea for people to succeed, I don't want to call them evil, but what else you could say as evil?
It's also just like people putting their own personal projections or personal fears and experiences on us, and then that kind of entangles with advice.
That
That is
too.
also why you
That's what I
can't
was
take advice
also
from
saying.
everybody. There was this lady you remember that lady when we were at that restaurant?
Oh yeah, we were actually celebrating
Were we celebrating?
some.
We
Well,
were
I don't
just
know.
having
I
a good
feel like
time.
everything's a celebration. Yeah.
There's this there's this couple that was right next to us.
Oh yeah, like what is? I didn't even ask her, but she kind of like voluntarily gave some advice. So, but it was a thing where my heart and the ears of my heart was looking for, hey, keep Christ first, keep Jesus first. That keeps my marriage strong. It was very materialistic, and she was going
I gotta
talking a
get
lot
that
about it with her
mindset.
husband. I'm just like, again, you can just again, even if how this is coming up, even if you don't know, if you truly pray from a genuine place of Holy Spirit, show me. It's not, oh, you just have all this clarity, but if you're open and present in the moment, it's a thing where when people say certain things to give you advice or types of words, it's just like, okay, I can't let this plant or take root in my heart, because if some people say things that don't align with what God has for you, you'll believe those things, and that could lead you straight to the path of doubt of like, okay, I feel like I really like this person, but that conversation, maybe I should be worried about this versus like God's like, I didn't tell you that at all. So just truly having that, again, keeping your heart open and pure to be able to hear from them. Really important.
Okay, it's coming back to me. Basically, she was exposing to us how much, like, per dollar her husband made at the time, which I thought was very weird and odd. And then she was basically talking about like communication is the thing that held their marriage together. Communication is, of course, very important, but God foundationally was what we were looking for her to say, but she didn't say that. I will also say just like take heed to certain things, and you can't accept everyone's
Yep.
prayers. You can't accept everyone's gifts um pertaining your marriage and your covenant together. That's something that I feel like we've been just learning. Okay, so let's give some practical tips to people that may be single, they're either dating or they're looking to get married and haven't found the right person yet. So, what are some things that they can do to essentially prepare themselves for marriage and that they can essentially groom themselves with the Lord on how to prepare for marriage?
Listen
Truly
closely,
stay
chat.
before him, stay before his presence. And like I tell people when people ask me about, well, I don't know how to pray or how to ask for things, knowing that that true indicator of I don't know how to gives God all the more room to be able to say, okay, now I can help you. So truly, like speaking to men specifically, it's a thing where your heart has to be in the right place, first and foremost, genuine outpour, say, God, I need you. And he'll show you things that maybe you need to change or habits you need to like get out of the way that could be detrimental to your pursuit to that, or just anything that's distracting you from that. It's just a thing where you have to have your heart in the right place, and to know that even if you don't have everything figured out financially, whatever it could be, it's just like if you trust the Lord to be who you say and believe him to be in your life, then he got you. So
So, how can someone have their heart in the right place?
spend
Literally.
time in his word, and God showing you like, and conviction is also a loving thing, because as you read his word, it begins to read you to a point where you can say, okay, if God says this, and this is the way towards the promises he has for my life. And
Excuse me. Sorry. There's a random thing I just remember. And I don't know if anybody else ever thought about this, but I don't want to say this is when I thought it was, this is when I thought it was possible. It very well could be in the future. Actually, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. Sure. But when I used to think when I was younger is that as you read the Bible, it will give you things to help you. You will start to read things, or like you will automatically jump to a chapter that is only help you. Like I used to thought that every single person in the world that is reading the Bible got like a personalized type of um scripture verse for them. So let's say I read. Sorry, I ain't the type of person to remember verses off the top of my head. But say you read a particular verse. and you read it and read it out loud so that I can hear it. Oh, let's see a spider. So, something else. Spider's cool to just kill stuff. But say I give you a verse to read, and you read it out loud so I could hear every single word you speak, and you speak clear as day. And then I said, okay, let me read the verse. And when I read the verse, I reading it and in my head telling myself, this is not what this person just read. This is a whole nother thing. But yet, when the other person was reading it, it was dedicated to, well, not dedicated, but it was personalized in a way or tailored to a situation that was going through in a problem, just them life in general. It was tailored to fit them life. I used to thought that when every person read the Bible, certain things will just magically change. Like like how the say God is all powerful, right? I thought, I just thought like maybe it was possible to do that when I was younger, and it sounded like a cool idea to be honest. Like you can imagine, hold on, you can imagine that I take this up and I just let me just look at it. Last thing I look at, right? Revelation 2 verse 2. Let me just say open this and then read it. I went, we're not showing it late. Out, oh, the thing fading, that's right. The print, the gold, this little print that was on it fading. But let me say, I just read Revelation, right? And I read the first, not first, I will read Revelation 2 chapter 2 verse 2. And I give it to you and you say, oh shoot, boy. You was reading that late. All right, Revelation ain't a good example to be honest, but that's way after I break out it because I realized it didn't make sense. But just saying, like, did anybody else think that when I was younger, or just me? I used to think that in primary school, bro. Especially when we had like a little Bible study, or I don't know if anybody else do this, bro. But yeah, we would have like a little day for like a club activity. And one day I went in the religious club because I was in the agriculture club, which was fun at the time. We used to learn about plants, watch wild crafts, learn animal facts, do a lot of cool stuff around school, right? But one day I think that that club either get shut down or no, I think the room they getting repaired or something like that. And I went to religious club because instead of just join a different club for the time being, so I told myself, all right. Oh, look around, joined a bunch of clubs, but I remember this specifically. I joined a religious club or went in the religious club room that day, and there was handing out these little mini Bibles, like these, I can't remember, those like, those green, I think, and it had a tree on it, I think, or it was black and the tree was the brown and green and all that. But, well, but, anyways, we was doing the thing, right? Right, body street. The teacher would say a verse, not a verse, a chapter verse and thing. You would then go and actually find it or be the first to read it. So even in that time, I thought like, oh, when you find the verse, that was just your verse, like personalized to you. So that's why I don't know where I get the idea from. I just thought that because he's powerful, he could literally do anything. So I just think, but um, we can finish react this video. It's sad that the stream had a crash, although I wish it didn't. I mean, hold on, let me reload the whole page. Cause it's saying on this here, it stopped, bro. Yeah, yeah, it stopped. Stopped for a little bit. But right, the fact that you, yeah, sorry, hold on. All right, anyway, let me just finish the video for now, and we'll talk after. We just finish the video for now.
And this stubbornness or pride or whatever it is that's in the way, then I have to look in the mirror and say, okay, you know what, that got to leave, that got to bounce, because that's not going to help me get to that place where I want to be. And most importantly, God wants me to be in my relationship and my walk and my life. So, and
Right,
it's
right.
truly understanding, like when God convicts you, the Holy Spirit is just like, oh, he wants you to change. It's a father saying, hey, like, come to the huddle. Let's talk about this. If you want to get here, I need you to go back out there and do it this way. So it's just like
Hmm.
not being afraid of conviction, and also just
Sometimes
knowing
your
that
plans could fail so
God
you could do it
ultimately
the right
wants
way,
what's best for you. So
God
it's
way.
just, you can't be afraid of that, even if you don't understand it, you know? Yeah. What about you?
I would say for preparation, like you said, honestly, y'all, before me and Aspen met for real, I was on a very intense fast. I even told like one of my best friends, I was like, I can't talk to you during the season because, you're not going to hear from me as much because I was very much fasting. And it wasn't necessarily I was fasting for a husband, quote unquote. I was fasting because I just wanted to get closer to the Lord and I felt like I need to be cleansed. So that is, that's kind of like what I was just in the process of doing. So in our own separate walks, we were getting closer to the Lord, and then we ended up meeting at the Lord, literally meeting at the Lord's feet. So I hope this episode was great. If you guys have questions for Aspen and I in regards to like marriage or even dating, please let us know. We'd be happy to like jump back on here. And welcome to the Heaven.
I don't even got a lot of videos. I ain't gonna react to no one of these. I genuinely enjoy watching that, to be honest. I genuinely enjoy watching that. But W video nonetheless, to be honest. W video, W video.